this again. Now I'm recording. All right, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to the first inaugural session of the Heal the World by Building Inner Peace initiative. And today is going to be the introductory session that I prepared together with my beautiful sister, Nelly. Hi, Nelly.
Hello.
But before we jump into the session, I really wanted to explain to those of you that are joining us on Facebook or here on Zoom, I wanted to explain a little bit the reasons behind this initiative. You know, a lot of you know you from my work with the Embody Wellness, right? And I've been doing a lot of webinars prior to, right after COVID started, with the focus on reconnecting body, mind, and spirit. But what occurred to me recently, and I've seen really incredible experiences in my own personal life and in a lot of other people's life, is that aside from just, you know, using these tools for understanding ourselves and for managing our stress and for self-knowledge, all of these tools, aside from just being helpful to us for you know, creating inner peace, they also have a very profound effect on the external reality, whether it is initially in our, you know, relationships with our people, with our inner families, but then eventually you can start seeing them really expanding. Hey, Danny, welcome. You know, expanding into your entire external reality and having this ripple effect of creating much more harmonious relationships. First, starting with you know, because all of the relationships that we have with the people around us and with the external world really is reflecting the relationship that we have with ourselves to begin with, right? And so this realization came to me at a very difficult time when the war in Armenia started. Most of you know me. I'm from Armenia originally, and obviously so is my sister and my mom here. And that event really, you know, I was in Rio de Janeiro at the time and sort of having figured everything out, you know, just living a very like pleasurable wellness life. I had figured out all these tools that were really helping me navigate through all the difficulties. And I had surrounded myself with really incredible professionals that, by the way, I will introduce you, you know, each week in the upcoming 6 weeks. But basically, I thought I had it all figured out in terms of like how to maintain my peace and calm. But when the war started, it really just kind of threw me back at ground zero, you know, sort of, I felt like that conflict that was happening over there was really stirring up inside of me. And that's when the big realization came that, you know, all of the things that I can't expect the world to be at complete peace and, you know, equilibrium, and without this huge divide that we're seeing everywhere. I can't expect that if I haven't created that peace and equilibrium on the inside. And then what happened is I reached out to some of the most kind of transformational professionals that I had already worked with, or that I hadn't worked with, that I knew that had some incredibly powerful tools that can help us by, you know, looking inside and transforming either our mindset, shifting our energies, or really working on our limiting beliefs, looking deep at our ancestral traumas. That by doing that, we can really shift some energies and also our mindset in order to start seeing the reality in front of us, not only transform sort of in looking at it from a different perspective, because that's also important, right? If we see the cup half full or half empty. But when we make that shift in seeing the world in a more positive way, it actually brings about real changes. And so with that in mind, I've put together Heal the World initiative. And I'm really, really thankful for everyone who has agreed to participate in it, including Nelly, who I will introduce to you in a couple of minutes. But before that, let me share the screen with you very quickly so I can show you what's kind of awaiting in the upcoming 6 weeks. So the opening session we're having is today. Next week, we're going to have Dr. Victoria Nikosyan, who is actually watching us today. And she is an incredible hypnotherapist, a neurolinguistic programmer, or neurolinguistic programming professional who has worked in creating harmony. Even, you know, her program is called Live in Harmony and Master Your Mind System. And she is going to help us really look at how to manage traumatic stress and build resilience with really powerful tools that she brings from the NLP, from her own, wide field of studies that she has studied for decades of her work in helping people post-trauma in post-traumatic situations to get back on their feet. Then the week after, we will be having with us Dr. Stancy Langtree. Some of you have already met her on one of my previous sessions. She's a doctor of chiropractic and international speaker who does energy healing. And she will be channeling energy to help us sort of unlock some of the traumas that we're holding on to really realign ourselves with our authentic self. Then we'll have Malu, who has also been on our sessions, Malu Reynaud, who works with a technique called informational quantum cleansing. It's very interesting. It's basically shifting our information, right, that is not really aligned with who we are anymore in order for us to align ourselves with who we are. And also, when we have these like emotionally difficult associations and sort of emotional traumas attached to certain events, she can help with these affirmations that she brings in, kind of separate those things so you don't feel those emotional, those emotions come up every time you hear of a certain event. The week after, we'll have a couple from France who, they're an incredible couple. One is Evia Delbine is a healer, and Vittorio is kind of, they call themselves the modern day alchemists. They've worked with a lot of different techniques in sort of manifesting your own reality. And they have a very powerful methodology for creating your own reality. The topic of their talk will be what to do when you don't know what to do. So going from anger to peace in 10 steps. I've taken their classes before, and they're really transformative. And then last, we'll have with us Patricia Misakian, who is from Los Angeles, and she will be helping us release our old beliefs with Akashic clearings. And for those of you that don't know, I think she will be able to explain it to us better. It's also an energetic type of alignment that will help us sort of realign ourselves. So without much ado, I just wanted to share those with you so that if you haven't signed up for the upcoming sessions, that you can do so and participate with us every Tuesday for the next 6 weeks. But today, what we really wanted to do with Nelly is, first of all, share with you the road that brought us here. You know, it's interesting because Nelly and I, we're as different as you can get in a family. You know, some people even think like, are you sisters? Are you sure? You know, we've taken a completely different route. You know, she went to study theater. I went to study, you know, international policy. And, you know, I was kind of the freaky neat freak, and she was kind of the messy artist. And what's very interesting is we find ourselves back here having turned to wellness and, you know, energy healing and, you know, realizing the importance of self-care in resolving any kind of situation. So this is what we wanted to sort of, the story that we wanted to bring you is the following, right? That we started our road in really trying to figure out what wasn't working for us. And at first it was kind of like the external environment that wasn't really working, right? We thought that, you know, for me, I didn't really want to live in the US anymore. Nelly moved away as well. Then there was different family issues that started coming up, and all of us have these, of course, conflicts in families. So we distanced ourselves from that. And we eventually came to the realization that all of the external conflicts are really reflections of our inner conflict. And this is what we came here to help you figure out: how to transform and start shifting your inner conflict and whatever those, you know, uncomfortable feelings that you might have. And so I will be talking about, you know, self-awareness and how to like bring us back into and understand our feelings and deal with this emotionally difficult feelings that that are coming up in the mess that we're living in, you know, the very difficult situations that we're living worldwide. And Nelly will be talking about self-care, the importance of self-care in the situation, guiding us to a healing meditation. So Nelly is, like I told you, she's been working with massage therapy. She's an incredible massage therapist and energy and body therapist that works also with Reiki, with past life regressions. She has done a lot of work in, you know, in a lot of different arts as well, in directing theater pieces. She's an incredible artist as well. So she brings a lot of these different perspectives in working with people. And Nelly, I'm really excited to have you here, aside from, you know, the fact that you're my sister, but also for you to share, you know, how did you find that road to inner peace? And obviously it's an ongoing road, right? We're all on it all the time and we get thrown off of it. And it's not, you know, for those of you that it's not like a one-time thing. We don't reach it and then we have everything figured out. When we have a lot of tools behind our back, then we can easily access them. And independent of the situation that we're facing and independent of what's happening in the world, we can bring ourselves back into that equilibrium. So Nelly, welcome. And
thank you.
Thank you for being here. I would love for you to share with us your, you know, your road and how you started, in, you know, why you know, really shifted and put your focus from all the different things that you were doing into, you know, healing work and working with people, and how that has helped you also on a personal road, and what you could share with others.
Thank you for that introduction. Well, yes. So I've come from a lot of different perspectives, from theater, and in theater as a director, I've helped people come back to their body. And then as a massage therapist, you know, we have to come back to ourselves and our body. And then I always start with that. We reside in our body, and we have to feel, be aware, and be not only aware, but love. You know, the road to loving our body is a really long one. It's a lifelong journey, and I think that you know, there's ups and downs for me, but I think from my culture, the Armenian culture, doesn't necessarily teach a lot of self-care, particularly, you know, growing up, the emphasis is on giving and on community and family and helping others, and that, of course, is very important. But I think that is impossible without being healthy ourselves and without giving to ourselves. And there's this taboo of being selfish. But I think that actually one of the most important things you can do is to be selfish and to take care of yourself and to be healthy, because when you're not healthy and when you don't have any strength, you can't take care of others. There's the classic example of the airplane putting on your own mask before you help your child or anybody else. So to me, self-care is actually care for the world, and being somebody who can be strong and take care of themselves. You can be an example to others, and others can see, wow, I can see this as a person who is strong, who's confident, who's loving themselves. And sometimes that can give permission to others to love themselves. So that can be actually contagious and really powerful in that way. So yeah, self-care is, just something to always come back to. I think a lot of times I'm a person, I know a lot of people are, that can get carried away in their mind thinking about what can I do? There's so much in the world that's really wrong, that's really difficult. How can I help? What can I do? And then you can spiral with that. But you can always just come back to yourself and say, what can I do in this very moment? Where am I here? Am I doing okay? And
Yeah, can I just add to that, because it's really, you're absolutely right, because what's happening in the world right now is that we're called, I think very erroneously, to take sides, right? It's always the divide, right, between, the right and left, and them and me, and there's always like someone else we need to blame, and we need to take a side to say who is right, who's wrong. But in reality, the best solution in these cases is like you say, it's coming back to ourselves. Because if we can't listen to our inner voice, the decision we make, whether to go right or left, is really going to be sort of based on a lot of preconceived notions that we grew up with, that we're trying to sort of circumvent in changing this world, right? If we continue taking the sides, well, the world will stay the way it is, right? But if we really want to change the world, it's really taking the time to listen to ourselves, right? And really understanding, what is it that I want differently. Maybe it's not the right or left, because the right or left might be part of who I am too. There might be that divide is actually, I think, something that keeps us kind of, like those dolls that go like back, right and left, and they're never in equilibrium. It's like a pendulum, and the only comfortable place, like in the eye of the hurricane, right, sort of finding that peace internally. So I absolutely agree.
And actually, when you're not at peace with yourself, then there's definitely a lot bigger of a chance that you will react quickly, that you will react with anger or out of fear when you respond to the world. But when you're at peace with yourself, you don't really need to react. You can just be. And so when you're not at peace with yourself, you can actually unknowingly contribute to the chaos of the world. So so one of the ways to come to self-care is actually placing yourself in a good environment, even if it's just your immediate environment, or just maybe your bedroom. Our environment reflects our well-being, and then also what you choose to see, how you spend your day, what you choose to expose yourself to, what you choose to listen to, and what you experience can not just affect your mood, it can affect your nervous system, and it can affect your physical body, your endocrine system, your immune system, your blood pressure, your muscle tension. So when you constantly expose yourself to media that's stressful, that can contribute to harmfully to your body, when your room is very messy, and when you are subjecting yourself to chaos in your own space, that can contribute to how you're feeling in your body. And so for me, one of the most powerful tools for self-care is being in nature. And there's many, many, many studies that have shown that being in nature, even 5 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, can really slow down your nervous system, bringing you to the parasympathetic nervous system, affect your immune system, bring down your blood pressure, really affect your body physically, affect your mood, getting oxygen, having the sun, and really like being among nature teaches us to be present, because nature doesn't need anything from us. And we don't, when you watch a tree grow, it doesn't need anything except just to be there and to be present. And I think that we can learn a lot from that. And just being among nature can be really healing, really peaceful. And we can really learn what it means to be present in the present moment, and not go off in that spiral, that we talked about before. And then for me, just coming back to the elements, water, breath, food, and all of these things, if you don't have access maybe to the woods or some extravagant amount of nature, we are still nature, and our bodies are still nature. So coming back to the body, and even just closing your eyes and breathing for a couple of minutes. There's water inside of us, and there's air inside of us, and just coming back to our breath can really bring peace, and quiet down the noise of the world. Bella, did you have something about
Yeah, I was
breath?
actually I didn't want to interrupt, but so one of the most powerful ways that nature was one of them, but since Nelly mentioned, I'm not going to mention it, but nature has been a really powerful tool for me also to find sort of, self-acceptance and calming myself down. And, whatever is happening in the world, like Nelly said, you come out in nature and you realize those mountains have been there for, centuries and millennia, and nothing happened, and they're still there. And so it's kind of a reminder of the permanence of things. So whatever emotion you're feeling, it's sometimes just realizing. Is a really good proverb. I don't remember how it goes exactly, but it's basically like, if you put that emotion in a cup of water, it's going to create a lot of commotion. But if you think of that emotion in the entire ocean, right, then it's just going to dissolve itself. So really, whatever emotion you're feeling, it might be really negative, it might be really, direct, related to something that's really bothering you. But if you try to see that kind of from a bigger perspective of what's happening, or what's been happening for, millennia, and you're part of this greater existence, it really puts things into a perspective, right? It really puts you in a position of like, I can handle it. But going back to like more specific tools, it's funny, right? I have a wellness company now, and I bring all kinds of different professionals to talk about different techniques to help with, self-awareness and health and wellness. And it's really fascinating how I would say, like, I don't know, 70% of them always talk about breathing and kind of really focusing on the present moment. And I have to say, as a Gemini and kind of like a really active person, I always not look down upon, but I always like ran away from that part of the yoga practice where you have to sit down and breathe, and the part of the, like the wellness routine. I was like, I don't need that part. I'll just do the active part, right? Because that burns calories, and this part doesn't really do very much. But it wasn't until I had a really powerful, a really amazing, yoga teacher that just insisted on us breathing for 10 minutes out of the hour class. And I was like, what a waste of time. That I realized, oh my God, that was the most important part. And actually the whole yoga practice is supposed to bring you to that part and bring you into the awareness of yourself. And breath is what really connects us to the external world and puts us in touch with the present moment directly. So I also really like talking about the body and really like the relationship with the body, because we've kind of always look at the body as something, you know, inferior, the spirit superior and the body inferior. But the body is what we have, and the body is what makes us live in this current reality, right? And the way to really anchor ourselves in the current present moments, to really run away from all that crazy emotions that are surrounding us, is simply by starting to breathe and simply bringing awareness to our body. It sounds really simplistic, but if you guys don't mind, if you're in a comfortable position, let's just do a very quick session, 5-minute session of breathing and some humming sounds that I'm going to suggest to you, so you can see the power of breath. And the idea is to really use this as a tool for anything, really, like from the moment you wake up, in creating intention, right? I use this always in the morning, just without even opening your eyes and grabbing, you know, onto your phone and seeing like what's happening in the world. Has the world already fallen apart? Have they selected the wrong president? What's happening? Leave that phone away for a minute and really, with your eyes closed, take a couple of deep breaths and really see what's happening inside of me, and what am I feeling, and what is my body telling me, and what is it that my deepest desire for today is. What do I want to create with my body? Because that's really powerful. You know, you have only the present moment really to create things, and we waste our present moment by, you know, looking at these news, looking at that news, and they're really important news, and we really need to be aware of what's happening in the world. But at the same time, if we waste our present moment, we are taking away from this creative power that we have. So mornings are a really powerful way to connect to our breath. Anytime you feel the stress, and all of us feel that stress all the time, right? Like you feel like you're working somewhere and you immediately feel that whole, that's a really good therapy too. Hugging your children. Nelly, maybe you can tell us also like the self-massage techniques too, but bringing your awareness into wherever you're feeling that stress at that moment and breathing into it. Again, going back to my yoga practices, I never understood when people were like, when the yoga teachers would tell me, oh, now breathe into that movement or breathe into the spot. I was like, what does that even mean? But it's an actual, you know, when you study it, that the breath actually can and does go into different parts of your body. So wherever you're feeling the stress, it's this direct connection that you create between, you know, the external world and yourself, and bringing this healing energy into your body, right? So and then breathing is also important to bring in during moments where you're actually enjoying yourself and feeling pleasure, right? Not to allow things to just sort of just to take in every moment of the let's say the beautiful moment of the walk that you're having. So like, I think breathing is a technique that you can take with you anywhere. So let's just take a quick second, close our eyes, and take just a normal breath as if you were breathing before. Don't make any changes, don't cheat. And just see or feel, where are you breathing? If you can, sort of put your hand where you're breathing. Are you breathing with your chest? Are you lifting your shoulders? Where is your breath? And now, take your hands and put them on your lower belly. And take a really deep breath with your belly going through your nose. So expand your belly as far as it goes. Let it hang loose. And feel that breath going into the, all the way into the depth of your belly, even in your, fingertips, your toes. Just let it go all the way into your body, and then breathe out. And continue doing this really deep breath, feeling your hands expanding with your belly. Now, as you're breathing, every time you breathe in, really imagine the color of that beautiful fresh air going through your nostrils into your entire body. Imagine it as a turquoise color, almost this magical color, sparkling with colors, going into your entire body. And really bringing you this energy from the universe. And when you breathe out, you can even make a sound with your nose. And really feel the opposite of that color, right? Like a brown, nasty color, or whatever it is, black color, whatever it is that you don't want to hang on to. Just breathe out through your body and through your nostrils into the Mother Earth. Allow the Mother Earth to swallow up that negative energy, whatever you don't want to hold on to anymore. So take a couple of these breaths. And now we'll just add one more step to this. Just breathe in normally with the belly. And then as you're breathing out, make a humming sound. Breathe in one more time with your belly. Feel the vibration inside your mouth, your throat, and going through your entire body, vibrating your entire body, your cells vibrating with that sound. And one last time, take a deep breath, the deepest you've taken so far. And one more humming sound. And now, slowly open your eyes and just take a note of the difference or different sensations that you're having now as opposed to when you started. Are you feeling anything differently? Is it the same? If anyone wants to comment. It's a very short practice with it, but I just wanted to show you that it does make a difference. Anyone? Oh, if anyone, Nelly, you want to say something about the?
Trying to find some words. Sound can be really powerful. I think that letting ourselves let sound out is a really beautiful practice. I mean, singing, of course, but just letting ourselves take space. I think sometimes for women, we're told that we have to be smaller and not take up a lot of space. And I think that just being able to make sound can be really powerful and let us take up space and give us room in the world.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking about.
I completely agree. And also, aside from, hey Naira, welcome. Yeah, aside from making sound to take up space, I think it's also really important. I think you were bringing up our Armenian culture, and we also have a lot of positive, traits in our culture. But one of the things that I've noticed when my grandma was visiting recently, and I sprained my foot, very like lightly, nothing major, and I screamed and I started crying, and she was like, "What are you? You're a grown-up girl. You're crying because of your foot." And that really got to me, because then I was like, we're not allowed to express our emotions. We're not allowed to make sound. We're not allowed to cry. And if you know anything about the way that the stress reactions work, when animals, for example, they're exposed to any kind of stressful, something like an animal chasing them or anything stressful, they immediately express that with sound, with roaring, right? Like, ah, and then they like run away and they start shaking. And so immediately, whatever the stress that they were feeling goes through their body and leaves the body and it's not part of the body anymore. But when the human beings, we absorb all of that and store it in places that are, our body becomes like a storage of negative information. Nelly will know best, because she does massage. I'm sure you feel that energy, especially because you work with energy. So one of the most powerful tools, one of the powerful tools that we can use is really by breathing, but also allowing that sound to come out of us. If you are feeling sad and you are feeling stressed out, crying is okay. Crying is actually the best way to take out all the chemicals accumulated in our body directly without having to process it. It goes out of your tears and you're done, and so I think, what's that?
We're screaming.
Or screaming, yeah. Or yeah. And actually, we don't have time for this, but one of the things I love teaching is really using movement and using, there's a technique called bioenergetics, where you take, pillows and you take, different objects and you express your emotions, like anger, like frustration, and you actually take out that aggression through some kind of a positive expression, right? So if you're feeling angry at your mom, you don't have to yell at your mom or, whatever, do anything aggressive against your mom. You go on whatever, a run, and you express that frustration through your run, and maybe even making sound and maybe hitting a pillow. So there are different, positive ways of expressing and not allowing that energy to be stored inside of you. So Neil, I think maybe we should, we have 20 minutes left, but I think I really wanted to get to your meditation, and give it enough time for us to kind of go through it. Do you want to tell us what it's going to be like and what's kind of the benefit of meditation in general? Because we hear a lot about meditation. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's really no trick to meditation, and there's no advanced level. It's just a practice. It really is just a practice, and I think that it's not necessarily that the more you do it, the easier it is. Some days are different than others. And so I think one of the most important things with meditation is just allowing yourself to be where you are, and being kind with yourself, and just doing what you can. Really, my meditation is pretty similar to yours, Bella. It's just some breathing and a little visualization for grounding. And
Yeah, I was gonna say, before you go into it, like I've on the benefits of meditation too, right? Because one of the main things that we miss, I think, in a lot of people tell us of the importance of meditation, and we sort of understand that it's important to do, but I think we really need to understand that meditation is not just that act of sitting down and doing that, crisscross and our hands like this and sort of spending those 15 minutes a day meditating or whatever it is. But it's really allowing meditative states, or really, flowing with that present moment to be in your daily day-to-day. That's I can't say enough of the importance of that. Like that's one of the most important things that I've learned, that I've seen a lot of people learn, because you could be dancing and you could be meditating, you could be washing dishes and you could be meditating, you could be doing a number, or for example, or you could be also completely disconnected, or you could be playing with your kids and you could be meditating, right? So I call it that meditative state of really being one with whatever you're doing, not allowing that divide to enter through the cracks of your doubts and your anxieties, and really just bringing yourself back. Every time you're like, "Ooh, that war is happening over there," bring yourself back. Or, "Ooh, like that, whatever, that guy is going to come back and become the president again." Bring yourself back, right? It's really about, and some people think of it as, if I don't think about the external reality, it makes me careless and I don't care about the world. But like Nelly said in the beginning, and I want to kind of bring this back to a full cycle, is that if you are able to bring that peace in yourself and build that peace strongly so that it's like an anchor that you can always fall back onto, then you will be able to make really big changes for others. But before that, whatever you do is going to only contribute to kind of making that pendulum swing right and left, and nothing will ever change. Because I think it really, I don't know if you guys follow like have you heard of like Bruce Lipton or people like that talk about epigenetics? And that's one other thing that I'll say, and I'll shut up because there's so many different topics related to this that I really wanted to bring in, but we only have an hour. But we grow up, the first 7 years of our life, we just grow up in this meditative state, right? They actually have confirmed that the first 7 years of our life, we're almost like in a hypnotic state. And whatever we see, our parents do, or whatever it is that we see in the external reality, we just absorb and download as the way that reality should be like this, right? So some of the things we learn are great, right? And some of the things that we learn are terrible, or actually they're not terrible, they're patterns, right? That we learn from our parents, they learned from their parents, and that's where the whole ancestral traumas come in too, is that we keep repeating what we know, we keep repeating what our parents did, we keep repeating, even though we think we're very different from them. But if we don't actively make those shifts in us, then we can never really expect real changes, right? Because we have those downloads in our mind. But what epigenetics says is that in reality, if you transform your mind and your thoughts, then you can actually change your genetics too. It's a really powerful way of, but you can only have the power of thought if you're sort of in the present moment and you're not falling back onto those downloads that you've had in the first 7 years of your life. Does that make sense? So the importance of meditation is not only for you to be able to sort of relax and find peace, but it's actually to actively decide what's right for you and not fall back into sort of the way that things were done before. in the past. And so this is where I think meditation can help us transform reality in really powerful ways, because in those times when you're meditating, insights can come to you and say, look, I don't want to live the life that the way that my parents are living, the way my people were living, or the way that things are, the world, I don't want it this way. So I can bring this new reality into existence during those fleeting moments of connection to your higher self and to your authentic self. So Nelly, I will pass on to you and we will do this meditation. And then I guess we'll do a little closing part as well.
Okay. Okay. So you can come back to a comfortable position. And just feel your connection to the ground. And let your eyes either close or find a soft focus. So you don't see anything around you. Just come back to your body. And let your breath be normal. And just notice it. Notice your body filling up with air and then letting it go. Noticing your legs and your torso, your arms and your head. Just noticing where you are in your body. And if there's anywhere that feels like needs extra love, send that love to that part of your body. And just remembering that this is a sacred body and it carries us every day. This body gives us life. This body gives us sensations that are wonderful. Smell and taste, touch, beautiful sounds. And remembering that we're coming from the earth, this beautiful earth that is big and strong. And it gives us water, it gives us sunlight, it gives us nourishment. Now, whenever we need, we can just go outside and we can breathe in the air that gives us life. We can touch the earth where we came from and where we're going to go again. And the earth is always here for us. And just feeling that gratitude for all of the abundance that the earth gives us. No matter what we do to it, no matter where we are, every day, the earth is here for us. And our body is here for us. And just take a couple of minutes, if you can, every day, and just feel that. Feel that gratitude. And coming back to your spine, imagine it extending down deep into the earth, like roots. And feeling your spine strong, holding you up. And those roots going deep, deep into the earth. And whenever you need, the earth will bring up nutrients through those roots. And whenever you feel unstable, just come back to these roots. And you can always be connected back to the earth. And whatever waste you don't need, the roots will take out. And the earth will take it and reprocess it and turn it back into nourishment. And just breathe in all of that strength from the earth up through your spine, all the way up into your neck, into your head, and then feeling the top of your head opening up and connecting up into the cosmos, where we can be connected to all the spirits, all of our ancestors. They're always here for us. And so we can be just a speck among this grand scheme of the universe. And it can be holding us wherever we are. Feeling in that light coming in through the tops of our heads, filling us with light. And just feeling that light nourish our insides. All of the love of the universe filling up your body and washing you from the inside. And just sitting with that for a minute. And when you can feel that love filling you up, you can let it expand. Because there's always an abundance of it. When you feel it, there's always more. There's always more love. You can feel it expand from your body. Feel it filling up the room where you are. And expand even more. The whole building where you are. And coming out and expanding farther than that. And growing out into the neighborhood and everybody around you. And if you want, you can visualize somebody or maybe a few people that you feel really need this love, and you can send it to them. Or you can just feel it expanding out farther and farther. Until it fills as far as you can imagine. Slowly coming back to the breath. Coming to your body. Feeling where your body is connected to the earth. All the points of connection. Coming back to where you are in this room. Filled with love. In this breath. Whenever you're ready, slowly opening up your eyes.
Really beautiful. Thank you. Everyone feeling well? Well, I don't want to add very much to this, just to say that as unrelated to these tools that we have shared with you could seem to the current state of that the world finds itself, I can assure you that I've seen some incredible changes happen when you're able to bring that inner peace into your own world. So don't underestimate the importance of self-care, of filling yourself up with that positive light, of hope, of trust, and of really reconnecting with your true essence. Because I think that's where we've sort of lost ourselves along the ways, that we're really trying to define ourselves through the external world. Well, all of us have this really beautiful authenticity that I think it's finally time for all of us to share it with the world. And that can be really done by bringing ourselves back to ourselves and bringing ourselves back to the power of our breath, the power of reconnecting to our body, and the power of knowing that we can create the state of the mind that we need. And with that state of the mind, we can really have a ripple effect of changing the world. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this first session. Nelly, thank you very much for sharing your wisdom. I really hope one day we can, I mean, it's really difficult to experiment your massage sessions virtually, but I highly recommend Nelly. She's an incredible body therapist as well. But I really hope that you will try those things at home. You know, it's not just, and it like Nelly said, it's you'll see the changes with practice, even if it's a couple of breaths a day, a couple of minutes of meditation with your eyes closed and envisioning these positive things, and also connecting with the difficult emotions that a lot of us are facing now and allowing expression for them. I think those 3 things that we've shared with you will make a big difference. And join us for the next weeks where we will have more really powerful tools that I'm certain will, you know, either one of the tools or all of them will kind of go into that bag of tools that you can use whenever you do have a difficult moment. So next week will be with NLP, and then we have energetic alignment, Akashic records clearing, and a lot of different tools that I think you will find really powerful in bringing specialists from around the world. And I'm really, really humbled to be able to share these people, their knowledge, and this hope that we can have an influence on the way that our world is changing. And for those of you that believe in the new era coming, that makes it even more important, right? We don't have that much time to sit around and wait for things to change in the way that they're changing, but have an active participation in it. I really believe in it. And I think, you know, if we really unite to start changing ourselves first and then help each other, we'll get there. Any comments or questions for Nelly, guys? Or any questions about the upcoming sessions?
Oh, just want to thank her. Thank you, Nelly. It was fantastic. I really felt grateful from my body. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Anyone else? Let me see, there's a comment here. No. Yeah, it was Jackie again. Okay, well, I really appreciate it, guys. And if you know of anyone that might benefit from these type of, you know, just really learning some tools to, you know, it can be done in different levels, like whether you're facing difficult situations, personally need to deal with anxiety, stress, depression, or if you're really just ready to, you know, transform your reality in unimaginable ways. I think these sessions will help you get to the objectives that are most important for you this moment. Naida, thank you very much for joining us. Can you see the comments, Ned? Yeah, okay. All right. Well, thank you again. Have a very good night and see you next Tuesday. Same link, guys. All right. Thank you.